Hello, everyone. It is Matt Papadilla with the Season 2 cast of A Killer's Game. Tonight, we are at the reunion, and there are a few things that we need to figure out. But before we get there, Rachel and Justin, congratulations as the winners of Season 2. How do you feel?
It feels amazing.
It feels really, really good, Matt.
It feels so good.
It's really good. It was a journey to get here.
Yeah.
Justin, you didn't know Rachel at all before coming into this.
No, never met her. I watched like half an episode of her on The Circle. Right. That was about it.
That's the same amount I watched of that season too.
And you guys were able to get so close.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, we just clicked right away. Like, I feel like both of us came in here and were like, wait, like, we have a grasp on this, but also we have so many flaws in ourselves. Like, neither of us were able to lie. Neither of us were able to, like, be like, boom, 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 that well. And I feel like it really just clicked.
So, the killers were chosen. The original killers were Dan, Shelby, John, and Ashley. Did you guys think you're going to be killers? Starting with Dan.
For me personally, I never expected to be a killer. I feel like for me personally, I could have went either way. I tried to have, stop laughing. I tried to have options ready for whatever way it was going to go. But from the way I felt the vibe originally arriving, I did not expect to be a killer.
Shelby, did you expect to be a killer?
I didn't expect to be a killer, but I wanted to be a killer.
Tell me more about that.
I wanted to be a killer because I know how to pathologically lie. And I can make myself believe something to make it be true.
Oh.
Ashley, did you think you were going to be a killer coming into this game?
Of course I did. I mean, I was clocked, obviously, as we know. But I think that is just where my personality lies. I think even if I had been an innocent, I would have been banished probably round 2 like Danny. So I think that is just, my cards were already dealt anyway, so.
Ashley, you say that whether or not you were a killer, your game would have ended the same. Tell me more about that.
I feel like I came in kind of with a target on my back anyway. I'm on this show with 6 people I've been on a show with before, and I won that show, and I didn't talk to anyone on the show when I was there because I was really deep in the gameplay and I wanted to win, and I was very competitive, so they all knew that. That was already working against me as soon as I stepped foot on the ranch.
John, quiet in the corner over there.
Yes, sir.
John from Minnesota, a killer.
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
John, as we've seen in past seasons of shows and whatnot, sometimes people can get by, but this is the first time that 3 killers have been identified in a row. John, did you think you were going to be the 3rd after Shelby?
Yeah, I did.
Tell me more.
Honestly, I did. Because when I heard Shelby's name was getting brought up, it was a dual pair. We were both at the same time being called.
Who was saying your name the most?
That's a hard question because it was going from group to group. But at the end of the day, Zan, that's the reality.
Did you try having a conversation with Xanthi?
I tried to play conversations with Zan, but I don't think it worked.
Honestly, John was the easiest, yet the trickiest at the same time because the only thing I had to trust was my gut. And the only evidence I had was my intuition. So I knew that was going to be a hard sell. But I knew that I did have, at this point, some people that did trust me in the game. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to have to throw it out there because I loved Shelby and I wanted to keep her. So I was like, well, if Shelby's out, then I'm going to get John out too, if that's the case.
Well, we heard from a bunch of killers. Let's hear from some innocents. Zach, you came into this game having no experience with reality whatsoever before, your brother being a reality stud. How did it feel coming into the game?
Yeah, coming into this game was crazy because I knew that there was so many like reality stars and stuff. I kind of wanted to see how that whole dynamic worked. I really want to see how my twin brother like ticked and like worked in this reality scenario, and I really thought I got a really good taste of that on this experience. So definitely very thankful for that.
Speaking of ticks, we've identified the original killers, and Nick came on later as the killers we found out. Did you pick up on that at all, Zach?
I actually had zero idea that Nick was a killer, which was very surprising. I think the reason that I didn't clock it was because he started off as innocent. And his votes didn't really significantly change between when he turned to a killer. So yeah, he was still throwing out Dan as a name, and Dan was a killer, and I was still sus of Dan. And even though I was originally pitting it on Rachel, I think this was his biggest
Why were
flip.
you sus on Dan?
That's a good question. I think
we could go around the room for an hour.
Well, so I think the reason, so he originally clocked Dan to me, and he didn't change that opinion after the fact. And I was also kind of thinking Dan was suspicious.
Nick told you he received a note to which he was suspicious of Dan. What did that note say?
So it says something like Kelsey. I think that was it.
Did Nick understand what Kelsey meant?
He did not at first, I think.
No, I didn't know what Kelsey meant. I thought that maybe it was someone thought my sister's name was Casey, and they were actually trying to make me think Zach was a killer. But then when I told Luke, he said that was the name of Dan's coach for The Voice.
Allegedly.
And so
Just kidding, baby. I love you.
And at that point, I had already received notes from killers that ended up being correct and got killers banished. So I thought it was very likely that Dan was also a killer.
So if you're hearing that Luke is putting Dan's name out, are you a little suspicious since Luke and Dan seemed so close at first?
I wasn't really suspicious of that because it was just in regards to the note. So I was open to it. Honestly, I was innocent at the start of the game, and I felt like Luke and I were kind of on the same wavelength for a lot of things, so it was going pretty well.
Dan, your name has come up a couple times, so just react to what we've just discussed.
I heard about the note. The note went around. The note also somehow managed to never come up at a snake pit, which I found interesting. The note was a note. I had theories on the note because the note also said Kelsey, but Kelsey, I feel like I didn't have the only tie to Kelsey in the game. Something we struggled with was trying to get rid of alliances, like the floor alliance. And there was also a Kelsey on the floor that I know Lucas was dear friends with because you're all over her Instagram. So.
Dan, who do you think left the Kelsey note?
It's probably the person with the Kelsey Ballerini luggage tag on their suitcase. And it's a girl I love down boots, but that's Miss Ashley. And I respect every ounce of her coming for the doll, but I assumed it was Ashley.
Ashley, would you like to speak on that?
That would be correct. And I left a note for every single killer that was in the game when I was banished because not a single one of them came to me and said my name was being floated. I would have never tried to sway them from protecting their game, but I'm also a little bit petty, a little bit vindictive, and definitely a bitch, so definitely fucked that up a little bit.
As the first banished, how did it feel?
The banishment was rough, obviously, but fortunately, I'm someone who can bounce back, and like I said, I was always going to come back and play. Like, I'm a gamer in my head. I feel like I proved that I'm a gamer. And yeah, I honestly love being an outlaw. That was like my dream role, I think, and I'm actually kind of grateful. So thanks, guys.
Ashley, so after you were banished, you decided to get in cahoots with other players who were out of the game. Tell me more about that.
At the second snake pit, my good friend Danny was banished basically for just defending me and, being a friend. And that really upset me because I don't think there was really any proof or evidence. And I just think he's smarter than aligning himself with someone he would know is a killer. Like, I just didn't think it made sense. And as it turns out, we're really, really a good team. So once he was banished, I approached him and I said, look, I have a plot. And when it's just the two of us, like, let's get it started. So I asked him who he thought as a player would be able to interpret notes I wanted to leave, but also that he felt like would spread them, because sometimes in the game it's better to keep a note to yourself depending on what you get. And he suggested Nick because he had a personal connection to Nick from a past game, last season of a Killers game and the Circle. And his suggestion was, I know personal information about Nick that the other outlaw, which is me, would not know. So like if I leave something that's very obviously from me, your note will stand out and he'll be able to interpret that. And so I said, okay, leave what you need to leave and I'll leave what I need to leave and we'll go from there. So when it worked the first time, we would just run that back. We left Nick plenty of notes.
Well, Nick was just an easy target because when she originally did it, she gave it to Ben, and then Ben after that shortly died after. So I said, who is someone who I want to kind of like use as a scapegoat who I don't care to like throw off the bridge after? And I was like, Nick would be the perfect person to do that.
You said, who's someone who's super convincing and persuasive? And got you out?
Check the tape. I don't think I said that. Not too much. So that's why we went with Nick. And then after Shelby and John both got banished, we were like, oh, will you join us like in this crowd and do it? And they did. So then we had 3 notes of Murphy gone to him. And then
Nick, how does it feel, everyone coming for you?
I mean, I was honored to receive the notes. I think it made a lot of sense. It was a great move because I'm super convincing, and I'm glad Daniel recognized that. I do think that the Murphy clue, once, I mean, I'm sure we'll get to this, but once I was recruited as a killer, I was ready to, if needed, potentially, I did have other ideas of what Murphy could mean that I never brought up, where my dog's name is Murphy and Matt's dog's name is Luke or Lucas. Both, he calls him both those names. And I was fully ready to say that that note could have related to either Luke or Lucas, but they ended up getting taken out anyway, so I didn't need to use that.
May I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
So my question is, so you've both been banished for perhaps not being very adept at the game, and instead of just accepting your fate, you decided to spend your entire week sending notes around to stay relevant.
right. No, wait, but I just want to say this. Tim, wait, I have a question. Wait. Tim, I just want to say this. You did say that we just spent our whole weekend with notes. My question to you is, can you tell me the 2 winners sitting to our right? Because that was a lot of our doing.
It's just very on brand for Danny to take credit
Respectfully,
for I don't want any credit taken away from Rachel or Justin on that. It's very Daniel to take credit for a dub like that as he sits on the bench.
Players, Bree.
Respectfully, as somebody that got very far in the game, I think there was a lot of ghosts being too influential in the game and having too many opinions on things that they shouldn't even had any opinions on. They should have been a ghost and should have kept their mouth quiet.
It wasn't just that.
not how the game works.
No, the notes is one thing, but you guys were going around and talking to everybody.
It was a vindictive. It was a vendetta.
I'm sorry you don't understand.
No, there was a. I'm just saying there was.
So players, we do know that this game is different. At a killer's game, it is not just about finding killers and innocents. It is also about jury management, making sure the people that you may backstab or the people that you may kill are still in good cahoots with you. But there are limits to that. And that being said, there are limits, and the stipulations stand firm.
So I think there's a difference between playing the game and making it personal. And someone had a personal vendetta because they thought that we betrayed them, and that's not how the game plays. We're playing a game, and if that had been done to that person on the other side, then she would have been mad. She'd been mad. That's not the way you should play the game. You should not take the personal nature and put it into the game. You had a vendetta, and you told me that you had a vendetta.
And who is that player?
Ashley.
I did say I had a vengeance because I just laid it out that you guys did not approach me, and I told every single one of you this. I told every single one of you this, that if you had just said, hey, your name's being floated, I would not have tried to sway your votes. I would have said, understood, you don't need to protect me, protect your game. I would have said that. However, you also protected yourself without respecting me as someone who was supposed to be in your alliance. that's fine. But also, my role as an outlaw, I can choose what to do with that as long as I
You
follow
sure
the
can,
rules.
but you made it personal. I just think you made it personal because you were mad that you weren't able to play your game as a killer, because that's what you wanted to do. Yes, you say you like to be an outlaw because you figured out a way to make it you and your game with Danny, but you really were pissed off because you didn't get to play your game, and so you came for people that, and you didn't allow us to play our game the fair way. And so I just really want to know, why did you come for me first?
Really, only reason I came for you first was actually because Ben was still in the game, and I wanted to leave the one more clue for him, because I thought if I didn't give Ben a clue, the next floor person they'd be onto was him, just because I felt like Ben and I are more similar personality wise. So like that, it was more about Ben. Also, like, honestly, jury management is part of the game, and like I, as an outlaw, followed the rules. I played the game the way I'm supposed to play it. So
You keep on saying that, but you're not, the real reason why you did it is because you're vindictive. You did it to be vindictive.
okay, but that's part of the game. The game is called A Killer's Game. We're supposed to backstab, betray. Like, that's kind of just like what goes into it. And like, I'm not
Come on,
going
Ashley.
to-
Come on. I'm not. Come on,
But-
Ashley.
but,
You just sat there and said that you're petty.
Okay, and
you just sat there and said you're petty.
No,
so you
but
did it to be
but
petty.
we all know jury management. I just think she's getting heat. I would have felt like the same way too, where it's like, if you just gave me a heads up, that's all it took of, hey, Diva, name's getting floated
Maybe
around.
someone didn't have a chance to give a heads up because people were around all the time. And then before we got to that, it moved very fast.
Okay.
You know, that's not fair to say that.
Santhi?
I will say that because when I was an innocent bopping around, I really didn't give much people privacy. Like, that was my gameplay, like just to kind of like share my thoughts, also hear people's thoughts. So to be fair, that goes for a lot of the killers, at least for while I was in the game. I could see how it would be tough in general to get a message across, because even with John and Shelby, when I had told Tim about his name being brought up between the two of them, that happened between like maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But my eyes were on them all the time, and it was so obvious for the both of them that they couldn't even communicate.
Like, especially that first round too. It was like impossible
Yeah.
to get any.
Shelby, did you feel that Xanthi was onto you?
Yeah, a little. Yeah.
They could also text too. Like, I know if you can't verbally say it, but like they are in a group chat where it's like, hi mamas, it's looking rough, trying to spare you, don't know if I can. But
People are watching it all the time.
it was literally day one. So
go to the bathroom, pee, poop,
Yeah.
and just text, mama.
And done did, but
Hey. But I'm just saying, you could have texted like in the bathroom and said, hey, Ash, your name's
John?
getting floated. Sorry,
Yeah,
John.
I get the texting aspect, but it was already being floating around that we need to watch phones. We need to watch who's sitting on their phone. Yes, you can slip to the bathroom, but how many times can you slip to the bathroom?
I only needed one text, actually.
I feel like the switch up, and I don't want to say mistakes, but I think the decisions on everyone's behalf, it was because it was day one. We didn't have, and the first time, it was the first management. There wasn't a time to think, oh, right, now I can warn, now I can give eyes, now I know how to do this. None of us have been killers before that I know of. I certainly haven't. So we didn't know any better yet. I do regret not telling you, but in the moment of panic, I felt like if I told you, then it was going to be suspicious.
So, Rachel, before, some ghosts and outlaws had mentioned having a large hand in you winning your game. How do you feel about that?
I feel indifferent. I think that Daniel did help a lot. You had a lot of sway, and I think there is still, with that being said, an aspect of jury management in this game. May I remind everyone that Daniel called me a killer on his way out, and I had to make amends with him somehow, some way, and I did that. But he was upset to the point where he didn't want to sleep in my room anymore.
Correct.
And that's all I'm going to say. I've made amends with you. I made amends with Ashley. I don't even think, Ashley, you were sold on me until potentially earlier today, even. Correct. I don't know if that's true or not, but I knew, I kept hearing and hearing and hearing, Ashley is suspicious, or Ashley is suspicious of you, whatever, X, Y, and Z. So I think I got there with you. managed it very well.
I'm just confused how you kept hearing like late into the game or whatever that Ashley was suspicious of you. If she was dead or banished, how does her opinion of that get to you? Who does she tell? Who does that go? How does that chain get to you? I'm just confused by that.
Well, it was a combination of, I think, just one, vibes and not talking to you very much. I could tell when you would talk to me. I just had a feeling, to be honest. So between I'm going to be honest, you being close with the other floor girls, Rebecca and Sydney, it felt like you guys were a little bit of a trio. I have been voted multiple times by Rebecca.
Rachel, you just mentioned that you've been voted by Rebecca a couple times. Rebecca, you said back, I would do it again. Tell me more.
Honestly, during all of the snake pits, did I feel guilty afterwards? 100%, because you convinced me otherwise, but then I heard other stuff. Like, yeah, I know that sounds wishy-washy because I then voted for you again. But the thing is, when it came down to it, I should have known that you had a little bug in your ear the whole time on certain things. And I have shown I was innocent the entire time. And I just felt, oh, I haven't. Okay, my bad. Sorry. Okay, well, I'm not frustrated with you. And I know it's coming out that way, and I apologize. I'm more frustrated with the person who came to me and said, hey, I want to talk with you. I haven't talked to you yet. Let's make a plan. There's 5 of us left. Let's make a plan. Okay, I'm suspicious of Nick, so he needs to be at the bottom. Oh, I think it's going to be Ken or Bree, whichever one it is. We need to vote them out next. And then Rachel, and then you and me. We could be the 3. Or I know you're innocent, and I know I'm innocent. Let's be just us 2. And he told me that. And you know what? He told me that, and you know who he kept telling me around? Danny. And I said, no, don't give me that face. You came up to me no, don't give me that face. Hey! Yes, when we did the first time, we were alone. But then I came over to talk to you again, and Danny was there, and I was like, Danny, are you going to go back and tell Rachel this? Because we were talking, should we do the 3? Should we do the 2? Should we do the 3? Should you do 2? And I was like, I don't know. Rachel's been seeming innocent, this. And then Danny said to me, I asked her Bible on my parents' life, like she's innocent. And I was like, that seems fair. But then why, if you heard that same information, were you pushing for us to do 2? And then that was why I said your name up there, because it felt wrong. And that's why I said your name up there when we were at the final, because it really felt like, wow, I am being played. So then I was like, I rather lose to a potential killer than have 2 other innocents vote me out. And that's how I felt.
100%. I just want to say really fast, addressing the first part, I just wanted to say, I think we just didn't ever align as innocents together, and that's just unfortunate. Like, I genuinely, truly think that. I think you played a phenomenal game, but I think between you voting me 2, 3, 4 times as an innocent, that scares me. And I can't justify that because I didn't vote for you until I had to. When you did really blindside me, I was not expecting that.
You weren't in that alliance, girl. You weren't on the team.
I just want to work through a few things. Rebecca, I will get to you. First things first, I want to make a very big distinction between personal and petty. I think there's a big line where personal is related to things outside of the game, things that affect you as a person once we leave this ranch. Was Ashley petty? 1,000,000%. Was Ashley coming after the killers that turned on her within 6 hours of her being a killer petty? Or sorry, was that personal? No, it was just petty. B, we all knew the rules going into this game. Like it wasn't like the killers were all like, wait. We're gonna turn on this girl and she's gonna have the ability, knowing all of the information, to give that to the players. Like, no, like you knew that. Like, there was things you could have done to prevent that. C, you have to innovate and adapt. Like, respectfully, like, we weren't playing the best game. Like, we were so obvious. Like, you all knew that Danny and Ashley were giving us all the information. Like,
oh my God.
right? Like
your legs must be tired.
like super obvious. So if you knew that, like, why were you keeping us around? Like, respectfully, killers, like, why were you murdering these people that were getting no information and keeping in all the people that had all of the information? So it's like, yes, it sucks. Like, it sucks that your game got blown up immediately, but like, there were preventative measures to innovate and adapt against that. Now, to you, Rebecca, you were the one person that I completely turned on actually in the entire game. And I do feel bad for that. And I will be sorry for that. Like, you want me to go faster?
I want a very more sincere apology, if I'm being honest.
Okay, I mean,
I don't think that was very sincere.
Okay. Yeah, I'll explain my reasoning.
The reaction to dub photos didn't seem very sincere.
Yes, I was happy that I won the game, if that's what you're referring to. I was feeling pretty good about that. I won't deny that.
It's not that. You took pictures right in front of us with the alliance right there. It was very, very, very.
So
Can we clarify? Sorry, just no, go ahead. Can we just clarify what the alliance is in this? When we say the alliance,
Quad George.
Danny. So the alliance is Ashley, Danny, Rachel, Justin. But that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Understood, Justin.
Yes, and like from the very beginning, like, I stood 10 toes down for Danny right at the start. So like, wasn't ever trying to hide any of that
before even knowing if he was a killer or an innocent.
So you weren't trying to hide that when you told me that you were gonna also potentially, if I made it through, be with us. So like, you were playing the field the whole time, which I respect that. You were still in the game. My issue is that the ghosts are not in the game.
They are actually.
No, I get it. They are in the game, but in my opinion, this is just an opinion. It shouldn't be that much. They're out for a reason. They're ghosts for a reason. They should be able to leave their little notes to whoever they want, but they shouldn't be able to talk to everybody every single second of the day, basically being another player in the game. They're already out for a reason. That's my opinion. It's just an opinion.
It's a good opinion. I will take it to Lone Star Production. Thank you. Now to explain my reasoning for the final five, once we got down to the end, everything was about numbers. In the final five, I had to have a total of 3 votes to make it all the way to the end. 3 votes to get out Nick, 3 votes to get out Ken, and then we were 3. If I had told Rebecca from the very start, hey, I probably trust Rachel a little bit more, Rebecca runs off to either of the other 2 and can turn on me. I needed to have the power in the final 5, and to do that, I needed my 3 votes, and I needed them all to believe that they were the ones I was taking to the end. So like, it sucks, but I had to do what I had to do. Like,
and I would just like to add, I don't think that you're giving yourself enough credit for how good of a game you played. Like, you are very humble, but you're extremely strategic, and I don't think that you are you're not standing 10 toes down, and you need to be. And I would just like to echo that. Again, I already said it, but jury management is so important. And I'm looking at Dan because I love him down. And I know you know this game. And I know you respect that because I feel like I have managed, and as well as you, I feel like we did our jury management the best out of anyone here.
And I respect everything you did. I respect everything you did tonight. Frankly, respect what they did. They played a good game.
Yeah.
What I will say as far as the rule book is, I'll say 2 things. One, being a killer is hard. It is mental gymnastics. Being a killer alone is also hard. Something, if you're going to play this game to prepare for, is you are not playing a similar game to a certain TV show. This is a completely different game. It is not just jury management. It is killers versus outlaws versus ghosts. Me personally, coming in preparing very, I guess, dumbly to be innocent, I did not consider. I thought, oh, maybe if I'm a killer, I'll do this. Didn't also consider, but you also have to do this.
Speaking of 10 toes down, Sydney, you were 12 toes down on Sam. Tell me more.
So
I have come into this reunion a little bit tipsy. I've had one role during this game other than in Innocent, and it's the tipsy girl. I can stand by that. Yes, I was gunning for Sam. I will say, she knows it. We've had a lot of conversations since then. So from the first night, I was just like a little bit suspicious of Sam. Like, let's be honest. Everybody has everybody under a microscope. And like, I had talked to like 4 people, right? Like the people on my team. Sam was one of them. Justin and Lucas are running like 2.5 miles ahead. Like I had one person, right? And then I started to sense a little bit of a herd mentality within the group. And I was down for following it, but I also wanted to come with my own evidence, like my own good feelings. And so like that first night with Ashley, like that was the biggest name being said. And I agreed. Like I had my own stuff and I was like, okay, I think Ashley is the killer. Like I want to come into that. Yes.
So where did you pick up Sam's name first?
Yeah, sorry.
What made you switch from I'm down bad for Ashley? That's the group. That's the majority.
No,
and then,
no.
and then at the next snake pit.
Yeah.
What was the herd mentality on Sam?
Let me summarize what I'm saying. Is that I wanted to vote based on what I was feeling and like the evidence that I was collecting.
What was the evidence?
The evidence that I was collecting, and I said this at the snake pit. The evidence that I was connecting was that goddamn red dot. I'm sorry. I saw it in the bathroom. I texted Rebecca, and I was like, whoa, girl.
Wait, the red dot was in your bathroom.
No, it was. No. Oh, the first time.
Sydney, to clarify, Sydney, to clarify, the public murder you're referring to happened about 3 rounds after you first accused Sam.
I actually I had such a great time with Sydney in the first
Who doesn't?
night. And then she came for me and she was like, because you didn't run to the horse. And I was like, what I didn't want to say is like, I didn't want to piss all over myself running all the way to the horse. Like I didn't run to the horse. And I told her that. And she looked at me and she was like, I'm so sorry. I will never do this to you again. And I love you. And I'm a girl's girl. And I will never, Sam. And I said, okay, Sydney, I like you. I feel fine about this. I adore you, whatever. And
Did you feel okay after that snake pit with that mock speech?
Yes, because she was so sincere. And then the next fucking night, no one's coming for me, and here comes Sydney out of the dark. I think it might be Sam, and I just look at her like, what?
Sydney, how did it get back to that?
This is what I'm gonna say. We're having a really good time. I'm aware that I'm like the butt of the joke right now. So like, let me just say something really quick. Zan, this is a compliment. You were saying that you came with a lot of evidence just based on your gut feeling, right? Yeah. You came based on your gut feeling. I think Zan is amazing. And I was like, yeah, you know what? She's coming with her gut feeling. I'm going to come with my gut feeling. I did have some good concrete evidence. Like there was that's correct. The concrete evidence ended up being a lot of miscommunication. The miscommunication was that Dan, Tim, Rebecca, Sam, and I all went to the armory together. Okay. This was something I probably should have included in the conversation, but stop.
Ben, where are you?
No, but after talking, stop. After talking to Rebecca, this is why I felt comfortable going forward, because we all went to the armory together. And I went in and I was like, so the last time I went to the armory, we didn't tell each other what the powers were. So like maybe we should keep them quiet. And then Tim is out of the game at that point. And so we're like, oh, wait, no, one of the powers is that we should bring somebody back to the game. And so we should say something. So in my mind, when it was either you or you, when they mentioned that, I was like, oh, we're saying all of the powers. Okay, like we're all going to share. Yeah. What Sam thought, and it's not incorrect, was that, no, we're just going to say who's bringing Tim back. That's the only person who's going to share their power. And so we all go in. Sam is second. She thinks, oh, okay, we're not sharing any powers. Yes?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Tim, were you aware that everyone wanted to bring you back? Were you catalysting? Were you the head of trying to come back, or were people trying to pin on you?
I was
for what
fortunate
reason?
enough to be in a group of people who had 4 people who were still in the game and me who was not in the game. And so it was a pretty easy calculus.
For the people on your team that you were with, were you supporting all of them? Did you have a number one? I mean, I think it was pretty clear who your number one was.
I was really happy to be in that group of people who were still in the game fighting. And because they were fighting not only for their survival, they were fighting against a lot of dark forces in the game that had nothing to do with what we thought the game was about at that point in time.
No, I got to pick Tim on the team after Rebecca had picked me. And I picked him because I was like, oh, I really trust his judgment. I really trust his character. I trust that when we eat weird shit, he's not going to throw up. Like, I would like him on my team. And so when the power where we got to bring somebody back, I was like, oh, I would love to bring Tim back. So what I'm saying is that I thought we were sharing everything. Sam thought we were only sharing the person who had the power to bring Tim back. That was the only power that she thought we were sharing. It was a miscommunication on my part, and it wasn't intentional. So when Sam came back, because she was second in the line, when Sam came back and was like, oh, I have to go find my phone, and she ran away. I looked at Rebecca. We looked at each other a little bit, and we were like, wait, why is she running? I thought we were sharing powers.
Just the irony with Sydney is like, the first night I was like, this girl is so fun and amazing, and she came for me. The second night I was like, I'm just minding my own business, and she came for me. The third night I was like, but every night the best part about Sydney was she would come for me so wholeheartedly, and then she would come to me with tears in her eyes and be like, but I'll never do it to you again.
So much of this heat, this beef between Sydney and Sam seemed to be about this red dot. And I'm just curious, this red dot that was found in that cabin, do we have any more information about how that might have gotten there? Was that really planted?
The red dots in the cabin came at a time when I was playing as I did not expect to make it all day long. So all day long today has been little fires everywhere. And when I received the red dots and threw them into my little satchel I've been carrying around the whole game, I realized that, I don't know if it was the humidity or just the whatever, that they weren't staying on the paper. So when I reached into my bag every time, the red dots would come with me. So every time you saw me today, if I looked a little weird, I was making sure there wasn't a red dot on something. Because during banishment, I took one off my lip gloss. During breakfast, I took it off my water bottle. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, I can leave a little trail. So like the Goldilocks I am, there is one on the floor in there. There is 2 in the bathroom in there. There is 1 in the bathroom in there. And if everyone has a few extra minutes while packing tonight or tomorrow morning, you should check your luggage because there are red dots everywhere.
Lucas, you were murdered by Red Sticker. How do you feel about that?
Well, finding out the truth now, I am annoyed, but...
What was the truth?
That my first suspicion happened to be correct, and that was Nick coming over and just randomly talking game with me out of nowhere this morning, and then suddenly I had that on me when Justin found it. But like he said, my timeline was all over the place. It was completely fogged. So that just threw it off completely all day when it could have been a really easy, direction because I clocked him immediately. So I feel kind of dumb with that, but I don't know. I was kind of oblivious to half the things happening, so yeah.
Ken, the single player to come into this game not knowing anyone and making it to the final 5.
Fuck that. Adaptability, baby.
How do you feel about your game?
Well, it was a little messy, and I was accidentally strategic because, believe it or not, I really had no clue why I murdered anyone. Like I was innocent, and I became the secret killer.
Rachel, as a secret killer, he was able to choose one person. Now, it did not mean Kevin was going to kill a person immediately. It would mean they were tasked with one thing at the next competition. Should they fail, they would be immediately killed. Should they succeed, they would be fine. Rachel was notified in the murder barn that she was targeted and came for Sam, putting the ring on Sam's bottle. Rachel, how'd you think that went?
I'm sorry, I'm really proud of myself, but I was freaking out for those hours of that day. Like, not being able to tell anyone that I had just received that. I had to just sit here alone and be like, I have to somehow execute this. My strategy going into the challenge was to pick 2 people whose bottles were up front. And I believe that happened to be Sam and potentially you, Ken. And which is crazy in hindsight because you're the one who gave it to me. So you were witnessing the whole thing. That's wild to know.
And I had no clue what the challenge was.
Yeah.
And even in that moment, I still was like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely was like, why is she putting it on her own teammate's bottle? And you're like, I'll tell her later. She was like, I'll tell y'all later. I'll tell y'all later.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on?
Ken, speaking of what's going on, you came back. And instead of it at random, you were given a choice between innocent and killer. And you debated for a good 5 minutes. Yeah, you did. And for a moment, I thought you were going to choose innocent, but you chose killer.
I was, yes.
What made you choose killer in the end?
Innocent was about to slip right out of my mouth. And I just said, I'm coming back in as a killer. Because, I was already taken out. I was like, they're going to get me again, baby. It's a 50-50. And I think in that moment, I realized how unaware of how this competition was going to be. I had no idea how intense it was. I was way too worried about my outfits. Yes, and they ate, and I did it. And
who was the first killer you aligned yourself with?
So the plan originally for myself as I was walking to the snake pit was to align with Shelby. Because I learned in that moment that Shelby, John, and Dan were killers. And I was already suspicious of Dan, and I had already been floating his name. And I thought, well, that's sus. And after speaking with my girls, Xanthi and Bree, I was already on John as well. So I thought my best option was Shelby because I didn't even suspect her.
Can I just say that you played a phenomenal game, and even if it wasn't intentional, because aligning yourself with Xanthi and Bree,
I trusted them,
was very smart.
Speaking of Xanthi and Bree, the most obvious ride or dies in the entire game.
Hey, bestie.
Bree, you came into this game not knowing how the rules worked, and you made that very clear. You also made it very clear, regardless, that you are voting with Xanthi and you are protecting Xanthi. Those were your 2 cardinal rules. Bree, was that a thing if she was a killer or an innocent?
Not really per se. So for me, I don't think I'd really know. Well, I'm honest, because she's a better liar than me. I'm not. Clearly.
No.
No. But I can always tell when she's telling me the truth. When like, hey, this is what we got to do. Because she's very just blunt. Like, we're from Boston. Blunt.
Period.
Xanthi blunt?
We all know. So for me, and that's kind of like the same way that I was writing to this game. Like, trying to be blunt, trying to, even, as you know, I crash out from outside here. I was like, look, everybody's being really weird. I'm done with this. I know I'm going to die next. So here's my theories now. My bestie killed me. That was my theory. And it was true. And then I was like, now this is where you guys kind of have to go from here. That's up to you. And then I just saw a lot of things being weird at the beginning. There was a lot. But bestie always got her. Nobody else.
Did you feel, Xanthi, that it was putting a target on your back Bree riding so hard for you?
No, so here's my thing. Like, the minute I found out I was an innocent, I'm like, okay, how I ride with my friends in real life or like the people that I work together with, I am so open and honest. So I was like, okay, I'm not a phony. I think it takes too much energy. So what I'm gonna do is how she said I was blunt and honest. I'm just gonna go around and be like that with people that I thought were definitely innocent. I came in letting everybody know that this is my best friend. We're together. We're one. So if you tell me something, she knows. Again, to keep it transparent. I think because we were so open about it, it was less suspicious, I believe. So I thought it was great, and I wouldn't want to have an alliance with anyone else other than Brianna. So,
Dan, what was your process on selecting Nick as a killer?
The last person I wanted to work with in this game was Nick. I was a solo killer for longer than I ever wanted to be. And I was spending quite a bit of time alone. And we were in the very end of a snake pit to get the defense off him in some questionable acting choices. Nick said, if I'm such a faithful that if I ever get recruited, if I'm dead, just know I was recruited because I'd rather die than be a killer. I was presented with the opportunity to recruit someone and was given seconds to recruit. And I said, Nick, because then I could kill him. So I thought you wouldn't accept. I thought he would die. I will say, I will. Because let me just say, and then I also knew I was about to murder. So I tried to give myself a double murder because I was a lone wolf. At that point, I hadn't spoken to a single soul in hours except for Xanthi. I'll also say, I love you now. I appreciate you now to a certain extent. But also at that point, I had tried to talk to you 3 times and you had actively walked away. Which, honey, I know you did. But yeah, so that was...
Nick, why did you walk away from Dan?
Well, I mean, I had been clocking killers with these hints I was receiving, and then I had latest hints that pointed right at Dan. So I was trying to obviously keep distance from a killer. I also, when I did say that claim, like, if I get killed, then like this 3 more on the list clue might be real. That's all I said. If I get killed, I had never said anything about recruiting, but I mean, fair. Run it. Run the tape. But I mean, I was actually really stoked to get recruited. I thought I was going to be a killer at the start, and I wasn't. And I didn't think I'd be a good killer because honestly, I'm pretty bad at lying, although maybe I'm decent because Zach didn't know. But I think because I was able to start as an innocent, then it was easier to then become a killer because I had already built trust with probably the guy who would have sussed me out the soonest.
Sam, I don't know if the rest of the players know, but the last message that you gave at the snake pit, can you talk more about that?
I was given a note that said, look closer. And I knew it was meant for Ken. And I talked to Ken. And I believed in that moment that either Ken is fucking brilliant or he is not a killer. And when I went out there, I thought to myself, and I don't mean this rudely, but I thought, I'm about to go down. If I'm going to give a note, and I got a note, what am I going to do here? And I felt that Justin and Rachel were in it together. And I didn't think either of them could win it on their own. I knew there was a shadow game being played. And that's the one thing that's bothered me in this game, is the shadow game. And I thought to myself, I'm going to disrupt the shadow game because I'd rather find out that Ken's a killer on his own than have them go on to glory when they didn't really earn it themselves.
The thing about this game is that jury management is super important. Yeah. And the shadow game is not technically a negative thing. It's part of the game. Part of managing your ghost relationships and your outlaw relationships. However, you clearly were taking that into account, which some other players didn't, and that's part of the game. So I mean, I commend you. I think I understand why you did that. But what I want to hear more from is Rachel and Justin. I mean, your strategy. I mean, how do you respond to that as the winners?
Well, I thought that the bluff of the note was very well written. Like that was just it was.
Wait, was the note not real? Is that what we're?
It's not real. It was a bluff.
No, it was not real.
Yeah, and the bride shouldn't wear white. I think.
It was a very smart note, Sam. Honestly, in my opinion, it was a smart note to play the shadow game. But I just don't want to say the shadow game is a negative thing. It's part of the game. So if the shadow game is part of the game, it is good to play against it.
I just appreciate Matt saying that because again, I said it to Rebecca and I mean it respectfully to both of you. I am sorry that you guys were innocents, but we never aligned. We never truly aligned. And I will say from day one, we had a final two. And that was point blank period. I am only comfortable taking you to the very end of this. And it did become apparent to you all at some point, but I don't think it was apparent to you all immediately.
And I just want to give them.
I feel like the strongest alliance was 2, and you guys had 4.
I just want to give you guys your 10s because I know it's like we're part of the conversation and like, do I think we helped you guys 100%? But like, you guys ate the fuck up, like 100%. Like, and I don't want that to go at all. Rachel, her game, I've known her for 5 years. She's not a strategist. She killed it. She was physical. She won these challenges. She ate up the first competition at night that got us safety. She was winning the veto or whatever we did out there, which got you to shortlist people. Phenomenal. You throwing your game out on the line for me showed me how much I could trust you and I would ride for you. For the bitches who didn't see season 1, everybody knows I rode for Jordan all the way to the end and did whatever I could for him to win because he was there for me and he supported me. And that's the gamer I am. I run with my people. And also he's a testament to show killers can win this game if you do it correctly. So there is a balance and it's just, you have to find that. But you guys killed it. And like, you guys need to give yourselves the biggest pat on the backs.
I agree.
Thank you, Danny. Thanks, team.
I just wanted to say thank you to this person right here who made this all possible. I have spent the past few months having dreams about this weekend because I was so nervous. I think I played 4 or 5 times
She
in my
ordered
sleep.
The Art of War as a book and read
I
it.
read a book. I ordered books. I had dreams at night. I was very nervous. I cried a few times. I just, again, wanted to say thank you to you. I'm very proud of myself and I'm very proud of Justin. I think we played a phenomenal game and I think we deserved it. So that's all.
I would agree. I very strongly agree. Strongly agree.
Ditto. No, incredibly grateful for Matt. Like I said, this is the best experience I've ever had in my life. I have loved getting to know each and every one of you. I don't harbor any hard feelings. I understand if any of you do harbor hard feelings, but if you don't, I'd love to see all of you outside of this. From the very beginning, we made a pact. We stuck to it. I loved the game we played, and I would do it all over again.
And with that, the season 2 finale and reunion of A Killer's Game 2 is complete. We will see you at season 3. Thank you.
Oh, shit. I pivoted to 3 different lines in my head as I was going. You got this. Okay.
Blooper reel.
I feel like in Talladega Nights, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Daniel might be my best friend.
What's up? I'm Nick, and if I get killed first again, I'm going to murder someone. Wait, that makes no fucking sense.
Listen, I need to be a killer in this game. Oh fuck, dude, hold on. I'm dying. Okay.
But the rocket's red glare. I really hope you guys like my singing.
Will the winning team please announce the 2... Oh, honey. What the hell? Kick it out.
100%.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you very much. Do I go out?
Yeah, you may leave my murder bar.
Which way?
Right back there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You may leave my murder barn.
Thank you. Oop, I'm so sorry, guys. Do you want me to redo that? Okay.
You may leave my murder barn.
Thank you.
I won't throw my hands up. Oh! Surrender.
All Danny does is game, and I'm just like, can you clock out for 2 seconds so you can take my Instagram photo? Like, that's all I ask, really. Look at him. Look at him.
And they're working alone, kind of like
He doesn't stop. And I'm waiting. I'm literally waiting here patiently.
Players, 17 of you are left. Take it.
Ken, Trader, Xanthi, wait.
Killer.
Sorry.
Thanks, Ash. My girl.
Ken.
My girl.
Right.
My girl.
Xanthi, I'm riding for you, Diva. Faithful. Rachel, fuck, sorry, guys. Ken, Killer.
Miss Sydney.
Dan is banished.
Not too much on your girl.
Not too much on your girl.
Not too much.
Jesus Christ. He's lived.
Lift your blanket.
Didn't say live. Players. God damn. He's lived. Players. Players. Please lift your blindfolds. Players. Shit, motherfucker. Players. Oh my God. Players. Oh shit. Fuck. Players. Motherfucker. Please lift your blindfolds.
I was just answering
and
honestly.
I thought you were doing a double block. I was like, that's brilliant.
That was great. Okay, Mama.
Rachel, please go
yourselves up there.
She goes, Rebecca! Starting with you. Oh.
I got Cheeto dust on my lips. Be honest. Oh, do I have Cheeto dust on my lips? I'm not getting in front of the camera looking like that.
How long has it been since I picked the traitors? In minutes.
Sydney had brought up someone that
Oh, bye.
and even the plane's coming off.
Is there a player who you lead?
I think they're a dynamic duo. Sorry, Mr. Ever.
Non-active players. You are cheerleader. Non-active. Jesus. Will the player with the red sticker please stand up? You're coughing. Bree, you played a modified game. However, your coughing is shut.
I have played this game as faithful as I could. I trusted a lot of people.
As innocent as you.
Oh, fudge me.
Justin, please step forward and reveal your true identity.
Sorry. Restarters.
I too have the same suspicion that Nick is either a secret traitor and has been.
Restart, secret killer.
Oh. Or a secret traitor, or he was. Oh. Sorry. I'm rewinding.